How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be featuring the Aki, the legendary tier Japanese hybrid battleship. Aki, honestly, I'm just gonna go out and say it. This thing is kinda busted. In this update, Yamato received 2.1 Sigma, but in return for getting that Sigma, you get Japanese dispersion, which arguably is the worst in the entire game. But then, unlike Yamato, Aki gets 2.1 Sigma, but keeps American dispersion. So your accuracy is going to be a lot more consistent. You can actually punish broadside ships, unlike the Yamato, because now that the vertical dispersion is so bad, something broadside, your shells are going to land high and low more often than not. So kind of unfortunate for Yamato, not as enjoyable as it once was, even though you have a higher Sigma. But we're not going to be talking about the Yamato, although we can basically directly compare it because this is a Yamato just without the third turret, and instead you get airstrikes that, well, arguably is better than a third turret because you can just drop things over islands like we did it to that Yamato. Ignore my bad driving. Uh, New ship, don't know how it handles apparently. Uh, but yeah, doing 18k without ever actually seeing the battleship with our main guns or even being able to do anything with our main guns. Yeah, not a big fan of planes in general in this game, especially when so much of the game is focused around ship-based artillery. Having planes just ignore all of that. Yeah, kind of sucks. We are lucky though. I guess they were kind of thinking when they designed it, but obviously not enough. But they didn't give this thing fighter planes. Can you imagine if this thing had Arthas and the 12 torpedoes that you drop in your airstrike? Yeah, it would be absolutely toxic. Not that it's already toxic. But yeah, two brothers. We spawn middle. This is kind of an ideal situation. Just go up the middle. Anything that wants to fight you, you're just basically gonna sit bow in. There's no threat of you getting citadeled because you just stay bow in. And well, I guess if you're overmatched, but uh, no threat. You don't have to use a rear turret. And if anything wants to push you, then you just simply use your airstrike while they're pushing in. Aim assist does do basically all of the aim for your airstrike as well, just like your main guns. So trying to actually lead the airstrike and the torp drop isn't actually that difficult. And having 12 of them, it's actually pretty wide. I don't think there's going to be any ship where you can actually land all 12, unless it's right at the arming distance and you have something like a GK to drop. Um, but yeah, we're gonna see some pretty special gameplay here. Also, I don't know how Aki has 102,000 hit points. Yamato stayed at 90,000. Uh, Basically, Aki is just 100 times better than Yamato. Because you have the same buffed saturation that Yamato gets, but you get more HP. You actually have a normal damage con. You have a 10-second DCP, whereas Yamato gets 8 seconds. Yeah, it's just really weird. I mean, I guess that's the whole reason they buffed Yamato as much as they did, because, well, they wanted to release this thing as busted as it is. Enemy Wisconsin pushing in. We did a torp drop in. I mean, overmatching a Wisconsin plus torpedoes, I mean, there's not much he can do. And, I mean, in one salvo and one airstrike, dude is basically dead. We have prop mod, so we can abuse that. We're just going to reverse away as fast as we can because we also blacked out one of his turrets. We can go ahead and assume he's going to try and ram. And, well, lucky for us, being able to reverse fast as, well, almost as fast as they go forward. We're mitigating the chances of actually getting rammed. We black out his second turret, so we know for sure there's absolutely nothing he can do. He can try to use his rear turret, but at this point he's basically a torpedo. Although it's kind of odd, it doesn't seem like he's going to ram, so he's kind of a Chad for that. But yeah, Wisconsin unfortunately didn't stand a chance. Even if he was just charging straight in at us, or even tried to dodge torpedoes and mitigate that damage, I mean, he was basically dead either way. And that's one of the bad things about these hybrid ships, at least the PC version. I mean, being able to control planes, you're not just getting a free cross drop and basically getting a crossfire that the enemy has to decide what damage they're going to take, whether it's torpedoes or then the main guns. And then in Aki's case, it doesn't matter about the main guns because you overmatch anything anyway. But yeah, I mean, I feel like if you actually had to control the planes, then you weren't going to be able to have an airstrike and use your main guns at the exact same time. I'm sure you could do some funny things with autopilot and whatnot, or just recalling your planes, or changing your actual armament, because I'm pretty sure you can switch between your main guns and your planes while it's traveling. But yeah, I don't know, being able to do both at once is kind of the problem. But also the fact that they went away from HE bombs and went to torpedoes is also a big problem. Enemy Jinan sitting in his smoke. We were just watching his shells come from the smoke, and then we were able to determine that he was basically broadside to our whole team, pushing down the left flank. So we angled our torpedoes to basically, well, land as many as we could and also force him out of the smoke. I should also note I don't actually have a Legend on this, which is a mistake, which we'll see later on. Or actually right there, we weren't able to finish off a Jinan. Had we had Legend and 5% more damage for killing off the Wisconsin, that Jinan definitely would have died. Enemy Castilla running away for his life since our team is pushing that left side very heavily, and he ends up going down. Now torpedoes start showing up, so we know a destroyer has decided to come back. We're not located, so we know he's using some sort of full torpedo build. It's deep waters, and we know it's a Chungmu, which isn't great because Chungmu does have a reload booster for his torpedoes. And at this point we damage con, which could potentially be a really bad mistake, because if he used his reload boost and decides to dump that second set, I mean, at this point there's a good chance we just get dev struck, because we are broadside towards where those torps came from, and also the fact that he's contesting the cap, so he is definitely very close. So at this point I'm just going to pray that he doesn't torp me, or if he does, he's basically right behind me and there's a good chance that I can dodge and basically not die to his torpedo alpha strike. But seeing that he's contesting the cap, I just simply decide to run away as fast as I can. Enemy team is also pushing towards our objective, and our team that was pushing the left side wanted nothing to do with them, including our cruiser. He's just going to run away and unfortunately not be anywhere to reset our cap. So right now it's a race against the clock. They have a Chungmu that can easily just shoot or torpedo to reset me, so I can't exactly just sit in their objective trying to capture. There's also a bunch of battleships that are in our cap that are going to basically remain unspotted, so I just need to try and get there as fast as I can, hoping that they get spotted somehow. Then I can at least try to use my airstrike to reset them, which again, something that probably shouldn't be happening, and it's kind of busted because otherwise we couldn't shoot them with our main guns. But yeah, either way, we're just going to abuse Aki as much as we can in this match. Enemy Conk comes around that island shooting HE, and we chunk him for half of his HP with just our main guns, having a high Sigma and American dispersion. Unlike the Yamato, Aki's main guns are just so much more devastating, and it's kind of unfortunate that it is the way it is, especially because it's from a crate and you kind of have to have RNG or whale for it, because it's probably not going to get nerfed anytime soon, and it might just make for a lot of bad gameplay. Enemy Conk, just like the Wisconsin, wanted to push in towards us and maybe have us suffer, but I mean, first salvo took half his HP, then we dropped torpedoes, took another quarter to a third of his HP, and well, he was basically dead. Yeah, that's the bustedness of Aki. I mean, they don't really stand any sort of chance. And then on top of that, having Borg Queen just spamming AP, because again, you overmatch, and really you should be spamming AP and Yamato or Aki. And I mean, we're just getting so much damage bonus right here. Our cap almost captured, trying to just get back as soon as we can, not trying to touch our rudder. We are a little broadside. We shoot the GK as soon as we can, and fortunately we're able to reset him. And at this point we know there's still the Yamato that's in the cap, and there's a good chance that we are going to be able to reset him now, because we can keep shooting the GK and keep delaying the cap as much as possible. Enemy Yamato gets briefly spotted, I guess through the middle. So we know exactly where he is. He's going to be our next target because we need to reset him and give us more time to take them both out. We get a Citadel on the Yamato. Unfortunately, we don't finish him off. Again, this is when having a ledge mod would come in handy, because we probably would have killed him off if we had the couple of stacks that we needed. Seeing the GK basically just staying stationary and flat broadside, and also seeing that the Yamato's very low, I'm sure we can just citadel him through the stern. It's probably going to be very easy to basically just focus down the GK. But unfortunately, us sailing closer to this island, we can't actually lob anymore. And now we're in kind of a bit of trouble. The Yamato's still alive. I'm debating if I should be shooting the GK or not. But at this point, I decide Yamato shot the island. So there's a good chance I can just finish him off right here and just keep going towards the GK. Our whole team that pushed around the left flank all just ended up dying, unfortunately, and they weren't able to get anything done. GK has a secondary build, and his secondaries are setting me on fire, trying to angle my ship, so hopefully a secondary shell sets the back half of our ship on fire so we can abuse fight fire with fire. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. GK having 32 millimeters of pen with the HE secondaries, we're not going to survive much longer. We have 385k damage, and unfortunately not quite enough time for us to get off one more salvo and pass that 400k threshold. Would have been our second 400k ship, but it's also the second hybrid ship that we've done like 360 plus k damage. And yeah, Aki definitely not okay. Not sure why they decided to do the things that they did and release this ship like this. But yeah, hopefully there's at least a small nerf to give it Japanese dispersion. Basically same guns as Yamato, and instead of being better. But yeah, Aki is kind of ridiculous. And with that 388k match, yeah, Aki SE, this was our first match. So that's going to be a one and doneer. And honestly, after doing that, I'm also probably not going to play the normal Aki either. So this is going to be our only video for the rest of this year and probably all of next year. I'm against playing ships that I feel like are bad for the game, which is also why I barely play stuff like Louisiana and Glue, any plane things, or even CVs. But yeah, Board Queen, just being able to spam AP overmatch, have a free cross drop with your torpedoes. Yeah, it's pretty nutty. And since I'm probably not going to be playing this, I won't make a ledge mod, and we don't need to see what that does. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more, and share with your friends, or leave a comment down below for other ships you want to see in the future. But anyway, guys, till next time, aloha.